from AMS Online, and today we're here to preview Aston Villa versus Man United. I believe it's in that order. Again, I've had a very busy pre-Christmas weekend with the family, catching up with friends, playing some pool, playing some poker, you name it. As I recover from the illness that I've had. Anyway, let's get back to the topic of the day, the match of the day, which is Villa versus Man United. And key points as we go into the preview. We're missing the African Cup of Nation members. Like sort of Amat Diallo won't be here. Sorry, I'm just not. Amat Diallo is not here with us. Mbuemo. And of course, Nusayr Mazraoui as well, who goes for Morocco. Good luck to them. I actually hope they have a deep tournament and can impact their national teams. Do well. I don't think, especially, there are seasons where I wouldn't want them to even go. This season, I think, look, this is proving to be one of the seasons where we could be at either side of the table, either scale of the table. It's been a very unpredictable season, apart from, I would say, one constant, maybe two, but I would say one constant being Arsenal. They're the only team who've proven to be consistent, both on the good and on the bad. I don't think they're free-flowing. I don't think they're really great in their attack, and Gyökeres, without the penalties, I think he's struggling. But on the good side, Arsenal have been keeping clean sheets, have had the best defense in the Premier League by far. I think if we look at their fullbacks, they've got not just the best two fullbacks, but they've then got the next best two fullbacks in the Premier League, and it's such a crucial position. I don't buy into all of this. Fullbacks are not important. They're on the periphery. No, I think that's a load of bull crap. Liverpool won the title with Trent Alexander-Arnold and Robertson in their prime, flowing. So fullbacks are mightily important. And Arsenal have four of the very best in the world, never mind the Premier League. So apart from them, I don't think anyone else has been consistent, certainly not Man United. We've dropped points against Bournemouth, which we should not have done. We've dropped points against West Ham. And we've dropped points against Everton. Criminal to be dropping points in those games, in those circumstances. But we've also picked up points against some of the big teams, and most notably we've beaten Liverpool, who I think are now, back and doing well and competing for the same spots that we are. So we don't have our African players, and yes, we'd always need them, but I'm happy that they are out of this center. They go back with their national teams. They can bring back some glory, get some freedom maybe in their play, a different style playing, different way of playing, I think it's good for us to see. And at the same time, more importantly, the reason I'm happy or I'm content, satisfied with them going, is that it gives us a chance to see the other members that, in my opinion, Amorim's incompetent management has not allowed us to see. Dorgu comes back in defense. Instead of Ahmad, we're going to have Diego Dallo go on the right hand side as expected. Personally, I'm happier with that. I think Dalot is a much better right wing back than left, but because of flexibility, he's having to sacrifice perhaps his preferred position to be on that left wing back position. We then have Dorgu coming back, slotting in at the left wing back position. I'm not sure how I feel about that. I like Dorgu. I think, he's got physicality, he's got presence, he's got that tenacity, but he's simply not played well for United. Definitely not on a consistent basis yet. So I'm not sure how I feel about that. But at the same time, I think we are slowly but surely getting Licha Martinez back. And I think he goes into the left central back position with Luke Shaw in the left wing back. I can see that developing. I can see that being one of the substitutions to start off with. So let's see how that develops. Going through the lineup again. So we've spoken about Ahmad not being here and how his place is going to be taken in the team. Mazraoui obviously is not here, but Mazraoui typically has not been a starting member of the squad so far this season. And Mbeumo. Now, instead of Mbeumo, I think it's a like-for-like swap with Mason Mount, but I believe Mason Mount may take his place as the left number 10, and maybe Cunha on the right. Perhaps they'll interchange, I'm not sure, but I believe for this match we've got Mason Mount and Cunha as the number 10s. And then we've got Benjamin Sesko coming back into the attack. Now, it's a clear sign that Sesko is going to be preferred ahead of Xerxes. He takes to the bench. And I think for me, while I'm here to obviously watch the match, analyze the match, share it with you all, he is going to be, my player Cam is going to be on Benjamin Sesko. For me, he has not proven his mettle yet at Man United. He's come in for a big sum of money. I was personally a fan of Højlund. When I say a fan, I'm not saying he's a Rooney or he was like a Zlatan or Cavani. No, but I did not buy into the Højlund hate either. And he's been doing really well. He's been pulling up trees at Napoli. Napoli's a good team anyway, with another fan's favourite, McTominay, there already. But anyway, Højlund's playing well. We've kept on Xerxes. Now, I'm not sure how he, how Amorim views him in comparison to, views Xerxes in comparison to Højlund. I don't know, like for like. But I think, in my opinion, I don't think Amorim liked either of them. Or fancied either of them, should I say. Supposed to like. So Amorim's hung his hat on Sesko. And he's got to come good. Especially now that Mbeumo is out of the side. Man United's top scorer, Man United's best source of goal, is out of the team. Now, as crazy as that sounds, I go back towards my statement of I welcomed the African Cup of Nations break for these players. Particularly as I think Mbeumo has been one of our players, one of our best players this season. And we have relied on him quite a bit to bail us out. Now's the time for somebody else to step up. Some journalists put the question to Amorim, why has Mbeumo hit the ground running but not Cunha in terms of goals? He recently chipped in one, and Amorim put it down to simply luck, opportunity. It fell to Mbeumo, he took it. Well, now Mbeumo is not on the side, so let's see. who takes it, because we need someone to grab the opportunity with both hands. So those are the players who are coming in for the African Cup of Nations tied players. And I think we've gone through the squad a little bit. So the defense is going to be Yoro, Heaven, and Shaw, as expected. Just a word on Aiden Heaven, by the way. What a player he's proving to be. What a potential. We always knew he had the potential. I recently heard, sorry, a talk from Bruno Fernandes, and he was saying how Aiden Heaven is one of the pranksters, the new generations, always pranking his peers. But once he steps into that football pitch and he crosses the line, he turns into an absolute demon, an absolute robot. And I've got to be honest, I mean, I've not seen him off ball, off the pitch too much, but I've been very happy. I've been very happy to see what he's given us, how he's played. When he comes out with the ball, he's very Rio Ferdinand, lanky-esque. Obviously, I don't want to be putting a pile of pressure on him and calling him the next Rio Ferdinand, because I think that title goes to Lenny Yoro. But Aiden Heaven's equally capable on the ball. He's actually better built than both Yoro and Ferdinand. I think he's got a wider kind of frame, Aiden Heaven has, and I think he'll be a great player for us. Great acquisition by the team. Live chat. Okay, sorry. But yeah, it's a great acquisition, I believe, from the team, the recruitment team, in bringing him in from Arsenal, and is proving to be a good player so far to play this position, to come in for De Ligt, who for me is probably our player of the season so far. I think it require a lot of it requires great deal of courage and a lot of competence, which Aiden Heaven has displayed. Lamance in goal, no drama there. He's been proven to be a good acquisition again so far. The wing-back positions, I think we covered that. Diego Dallo comes in on the right, Dorgu on the left. Midfield, we haven't covered that. Of course, Bruno Fernandes starts. No Kobbie Mainoo in the team. No Kobbie Mainoo in the squad. I think he's picked up an injury prior to this game week, which is a real shame. I don't know how much we can read into that with the timing of it all. I mean, we're in December. The January transfer window opens. I can see him leaving Man United. Yes, I can. Can I see the team benefiting from that? I also see that. It's a shame. Of course, Kobbie Mainoo is a darling of Manchester. He's a local lad. We want him to. Is a prime example of an academy graduate, and it's such a shame that he's not being given the chances, in my opinion. Maybe it's because he's been earmarked as playing in the same role as the captain. I think there are contributing factors, but I still think it's probably this is probably one of the areas where Ruben Amorim is lacking, has been lacking. He finds it very hard to adapt to different formations, putting players in different positions, and just trying to be adaptable. Like he seems to have one way of playing, and if it's not that, then it's the highway. And I don't think you can have longevity on that. You just can't. I mean, Kobbie Mainoo, they're midfielders, guys. They're Premier League midfielders. They should be able to adapt to both an attacking and a defensive role. Of course, it won't be ideal, but when are things ever ideal? But anyway, no Kobe Mainu in the squad. That means in comes Ugarte, and I think that's another player who we should keep an eye on. Ugarte has definitely not been given the chance this season. Casemiro's played relatively well. Generally, he's played better this season compared to last. And Manu Ugarte has not had the chance or not been given the chance. Well, now's the chance. Let's see how he fares. In my opinion, he's the best player for that typical number 6 position. Casemiro also is. He's the better of the two players, you can argue, but Casemiro can also be an 8. Is also an 8, has been an 8. And Casemiro carries a lot of attacking potential, prowess, aerial prowess. Is contributed to our attack, is contributed to the goals and assists. So Manu Ugarte, not so much. So on paper, he should be the perfect forward for Bruno Fernandes, except that it simply has not happened so far. So let's see how he does against Villa. All right. Hendrik Torres said hi. Hi back to you, Hendrik. How are you doing? Hope you're well and hope you're here to support Man United. I also wanted to touch upon Bruno Fernandes. He's been talking a lot. He's recently had a podcast out with Rio Ferdinand. I'll probably do a separate piece on that at a later time. But while I don't mean to go into, into his personality, etc., but it just seems to be too talkative for a captain. And just a few things that he said on there, for me, didn't quite sit well. Didn't reflect well on, firstly, not the manager, the club, and then not Bruno himself. Aya Jahangir, hello. Hi. I do not know you, but it will be nice. How are you? Thank you. I'm good. Better. Health-wise, and hopefully I'll be even better. After seeing a positive result by Man United. I really need that. I think we all need that. Man United certainly needs that. And it will be a tough match. Going back to what I was saying with Bruno Fernandes, I think he needs to do more talking on the pitch. There was a lot of compliments and nice exchanges from Rio Ferdinand. I get it. I'm not against it. Fine, give him his flowers. But this is the crucial difference, is it not? From fans, and I don't want to degrade some of us, but armchair fans who will just pick up the result or maybe at most watch match of the day and say, oh, okay, there goes Bruno. He's got another goal, another assist, another couple of goals, another couple of assists. What would United be without Bruno? But then you've got people like myself and a lot of you who are thinking or who are looking at the match and saying, well, I get it that Bruno's playing in midfield and he's dropping deeper and still contributing and impacting the game offensively. But my God, does he lose balls? And it's not just about losing balls and not and we're not saying that he should not be taking risks and passing the ball sideways and backwards, because I do not like that. But at the same time, he's lost a number of balls in critical positions, which has led to Man United conceding a bunch of goals. He has not tracked his runners. He has not picked up his runners a number of times. For me, there's a lot of criticism that can and should be leveled at Bruno firstly, as a Man United player, with the core values that we have. Secondly, as a Man United midfielder, remember he's playing in a position where prior to him, there's Roy Keane, there's the likes of Paul Scholes, Nicky Butt, Brian Robson, all of these players, right? I'm not saying they never made mistakes or goals didn't get conceded because of them, but I think Bruno's lacking some fundamentals in that position. And we failed, at least Rio Ferdinand failed to really uncover that. I get it with the technicality of what he was saying in terms of dictating the plays and the lines and letting the fullbacks, letting the back line pass through. But then surely as a midfielder, you've then, if the defenders are breaking the ball through, you've got to be able to do other roles to ensure that defense doesn't get exposed. I don't understand how 5 players at the back plus effectively a number 6 and a number 8, or 2 DMs, people call it 2 DMs, but effectively, let's just say at least 1 DM, right? That's 6 plus the goalkeeper. That's 7 players who are more defensive than attacking. And we have the second worst defense in the Premier League. That's a big problem. All right. Jahangir, hi again. Sorry, I've not been ignoring you. Am I a Muslim? No. Great to hear you're one. Where are you from? What country are you from? So yeah, coming back to the team, I think that midfield is going to be crucial again. Aston Villa have got a couple of our players. Lindelof is playing in there. I can't remember who's the other one. Obviously Martinez comes back. They've got a real good team. Watkins is playing, is starting. He's a player who was touted to come in and join Man United, and I think he's a better forward than any of our forwards. So Aston Villa are a real competent team, a real competent side who are doing really well, who are up in the league, who are better than us at this moment in time. And we've got to give them not just the most respect, but we've got to also take the game to them in that level. So they're not going to, I believe they're at home as well, so they're not going to come in and sit back and wait for Man United to dictate play. They will want to take control as well. That means we've got to hit them. We've got to hit them on the counter, take advantage. And for me, as I said, my player cam is on Benjamin Sesko, as well as on Manu Ugarte anyway. Those are 2 players who come back into the squad. But if they do well, it could bode well for the next month, which is super crucial. So that's it really by way of preview. We're now approaching kickoff in less than 5 minutes. So let's go and grab our drinks, snacks, whatever. And I look forward to catching you guys up again at halftime. Hopefully with Man United playing well and hopefully with the lead. Touch wood. Take care, guys. And I'll see you all shortly. Bye-bye.